Welcome to Soul Thrive, where we explore spirituality through healing trauma, shadow work, and applying the laws of the universe in order to master ourselves without the fear of the unknown.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Soul Thrive podcast. And today we have Anastacia, who is a psychic medium, a tarot reader, energy healer, past life regressionist, a spiritual coach, and a retreat host. Woo! She's the host of Spiritually Human, a raw and reflective podcast about healing, intuition, dating, and the human experience. She's passionate about helping people reconnect to their intuition and reclaiming their personal power.
I love all of this. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're so excited to have you on and dive into this conversation. If you know our dynamic, I go with the flow. Yvonne is a little bit more organized, so she's got questions ready for you.
I love it. I love it. Sounds great.
All right, let's get into it. So, what has your journey been like when it comes to uncovering your gifts and your purpose?
That is such a loaded question because it feels like there's such a story behind it, but
We want the stories.
We want the stories. We love the stories. We want to know your journey.
Like, what age did you figure out you were an intuitive?
Yes.
Don't
worry.
All of that.
I'll get into the story, the nitty gritty bit. So I want to say that from the womb, I was psychic. My earliest memories are seeing spirits when I was like 3-4 years old. Mm-hmm. I've always been very tuned in, and it scared the hell out of me. Like, it just like terrified me because I didn't know if these spirits were good or bad. I wet the bed until I was like 10 because I was so afraid of like going to the bathroom at night, because I would always see a spirit just peeking around the corner whenever I would try to get up in the middle of the night. So this is something that I kind of shut down after many years. I did not want anything to do with being a psychic medium. And I knew that I was an empath, and I was clairsentient, I was clairvoyant even. I had a lot of messages delivered to me from my childhood through dreams, through just like meeting someone. I could always meet someone and I knew exactly how they were feeling, or whether they're having a good day or a bad day. Even if they say they're having a good day, I always knew the truth. And so that was the extent of the abilities that I was able to tap into and accept. When COVID happened, I was a middle school English teacher. So I actually really went the academic route. I got bachelor's degree, then I got 3 master's degrees. I am just like I love learning. And I thought that I was going to go the route of becoming a college professor or something. But during COVID, when I was teaching middle school from home on Zoom, I was also very much on Instagram, and I was seeing people do tarot pulls for the first time. And I was in a really deep, dark place at that moment. So I messaged one of the girls who I was getting readings from through Instagram, and I was like, how do you do this? Like, is there like a deck that you buy? Like, how do I do what you're doing? And she's like, this is the deck that you buy, the Modern Witch deck. So shout out to that deck. The Mystic Mondays deck. Shout out to that deck. And this is the Tarot Bible book that you should buy. And I bought those 2 things. My friend came over to my house after 4 months in Los Angeles. We're completely in lockdown, so I had not talked to her. My deck came in the mail the day that she came to my house, and I gave her a reading. The words just fell out of my mouth. It was freaky because I was just like, I don't know this deck. I've never touched it in my life, but like, I was able to assimilate the information just by looking at the keywords of what the cards meant and the pictures. And I gave her a reading, and she was like, well, we don't have to catch up anymore because you just said exactly what's happening.
Right.
And something in that moment just clicked.
Right.
I was like, okay, we're going to dive in. And so I started to very immediately, I sign up for tarot classes, tarot lessons, and all that stuff, but then also provide readings to my friends and family on Facebook. And long story short, very quickly after that, this very popular podcast called Guys We Fucked. It's a comedian podcast, a comedy podcast based out of New York City, relationships, dating, all that stuff. I was listening to them, and they were doing Black-owned businesses,
Mm.
um, ads for Black-owned businesses. This was during like the Black Lives Matter stuff. And my spirit guide just kept saying, message them. And I was
Mm.
like, I don't even have a business really. But they were like,
Yeah.
you need to message them. And I let it go for a long time. I set up a website, I set up an LLC, I started to sell even more on Instagram. I messaged them. One morning, I woke up, I had over thousands of new followers, and they actually read an ad for me on their podcast.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
Exactly.
I
And
love when
then
spirit kicks in like
Mhm.
that.
yeah, it was so fast though. Like my everything happened so quickly for me. So quickly that I knew that this was the path for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually the hosts of that podcast, they both signed up for my spiritual coaching program that I started like a couple months after because I had learned all of these different modalities through
Right.
mentors and I like learning, so I did all the things and I brought it into a coaching program, and so they talked about me very often on the podcast, and my business kind of grew, and that's like the story of how it all happened.
How did you overcome some of your fears? Because, like, obviously, from a child's point of view, you kept saying, like, you had all of these, fears around that. And then, like, at the same time, too, you were open to giving family and friends readings. Like, was it received very well? Like, that's a beautiful thing at the end of the day if it's received really well and they're like totally supportive of you. But how do you think you overcame some of these fears? Because like when you activate your abilities and you activate your clairsentient, you're going to bring in all of those feelings, all of those experiences. So how do you think that you managed to work through that?
That's a really great question. So I skipped, of course, a lot of parts in my story, but
Hmm.
there's one point that is really interesting to bring up, and it is that maybe a year before COVID, I was in a really dark place again, and I talked to a psychic on an app. It was on Keen, and he told me, "You are running away from your spiritual gifts, and you are not going to have respite from your negative vibrations unless you tap into your gifts." And I told him that I had a lot of fear surrounding it. He taught me some techniques to block them out. So he taught
Okay.
me how to, you know, protect my space. I don't have any spirits until recently come into my space anymore. Like
Right.
he really taught me how to do that. And so I started to use the methods that he taught me to unblock the fear of tapping in. And then when it comes to the fear surrounding, yes, putting yourself out there, it's very strange. Like from that first reading, I just knew that it was in alignment. And I have to say, and every other healer is just like, how? I didn't have fear
Right.
surrounding giving people readings. I just was so confident. I was like, this is what I'm meant to be doing.
Great.
And I did come from a very Christian household, which is another reason why I had a lot of fear because my
Right.
mom, everyone was just like, if you're tapping into that stuff, like you could be talking to,
Oh,
you know,
yes, of course.
you know,
There's
the
always that
demons.
conversation. Yeah, yeah. They're always like, it's the demons that are doing it. And it's like, no,
100%.
you should worry about how people operate and what they think and what they're doing and how they're not healing their trauma. But that's a whole other conversation.
That's a but exactly, exactly. And so I had to overcome that as well. Even though I never prescribed to Christian beliefs, there's
Mhm.
still, a part of that I had to let go of.
Yeah.
So in a nutshell, I think that's basically it. I'm a really confident person, and it wasn't always this way, but I think when you're in alignment and you know that you're exactly where you should be, the fear kind of
It
it
dissipates. Yeah.
dissipates.
Yeah.
I
There's a
love
good flow. There's a good flow of energy that moves through with that. And yes, I would recommend everybody, please protect your spaces. Don't just allow anybody to walk in. Number one. Number two, like you're saying, when it comes to doing these readings, like I have been doing it for years too, and readings and so on and so forth. It's like, no, you got to block and protect your space too. And that really eliminates the interference. It's more just interference. It's not anything to
Yes.
fear. It's more just the interference that could happen with spirit. And you definitely have to have a solid solar plexus to be confident to really own. Because I'm going to tell you this right now. People want to hear what they want to hear at the end of the day. I'm sure you know this. They come in with the intention of what they want. They think that they know what's right for them. And then spirit will
Yes.
give them a message that's completely left field. And they're like, I don't think that's
Something's wrong with you, the
yeah,
reader.
you know,
Yeah.
it's like the projection of that, right? It's like, no,
Yeah.
in order to do this work, people don't understand how you have to stand really, really, really tall and really strong in your own personal convictions. And like, I love how you're reiterating that you have confidence and you're not apologizing for that. I think like, you know, there's a lot of times when I meet people, they're like, oh, you know, it's just like a little, they're meek or they're humble or whatever.
Right.
I feel like I'm the same way. Like I'm like, this is what this is. That is what that is. This is what the, you know, and there's no need for me to over explain it. This is what's going on and this is where it needs to be. Take it or leave it, you know? And it's hard for people to accept it, but when you're coming from a place of love at the end of the day and confidence,
Yes.
they know. I mean, I've had people 2 years later be like, you know, the thing that you said to me, I wasn't receptive at that time, but guess what? It happened. I'm like, okay, great.
Yep.
Right?
I know. I knew I said it was going to.
Exactly. Those were my words most of the time. Are you forgetful? I'm forgetful. I forget. Like I'll read and then I'm like, bye.
Oh, absolutely. I feel so bad too sometimes, like, because they'd be so excited, like, oh,
Yeah.
remember this thing? And I'm like, unless you're a regular client and you come
Right.
to me like every month, I probably forgot. But it makes me really happy to hear that it
Mhm.
was validated.
Exactly. We laugh. That's something that
That's
Ivana says with me all the time. She'll be like, remember the thing that you said? I'm like, no.
Because she's channeling. I'm like, I don't even like, it's not that it's not her, but like, you're just like saying literally the messages that you're downloading. So
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, yeah.
it's
I'll have a
funny.
whole in my I think my girls in my new moon and full moon ceremonies, they laugh so much because I'm like, I'll do my readings, the energy reading, and I'm like, someone's gonna have to tell me what I said because I
Right.
have no idea.
Right, right. I love that. Thank you for saying that because like I feel like people think I'm insane when I say I don't know what I taught. I don't remember what I said. I'm like I'm having this moment right now. I'm immersed in it. This is beautiful, but now I'm out. You know, like I'm
Yeah.
here and now I'm out and whatever happened happened. Don't blame me.
Yep.
She did a reading this morning, and I was like, well, you know, this morning when you said this, and like,
Don't remember it. Anyways,
I love it. I love it.
so
Anyway,
yeah.
I have another question.
Yeah, of course.
So I have many more questions. So I know that you use a lot of different modalities when it comes to healing, and there's one in particular I wanted to chat about later on. But the purpose of all of that is to help people heal. So there's so many people, I mean, Instagram, YouTube, whatever, talking about healing. And I'm curious from your perspective, what is healing to you? Like in the most simple terms, because I find that oftentimes people are just overcomplicating things or just like not getting straight to the point. So, as someone who's been doing this work for some time, how would you define healing?
I love that question so much. I'm smiling so much because I'm like, you should listen to my podcast because it's what it's about. It's about simplifying it all.
Mhm.
So I think healing is literally as simple as you are getting to know yourself. That is what healing is to me. You're getting to know yourself on a very deep level. You're getting to know your light side and your shadow side, and that is it. And so to me, all these different modalities are helping us to either get to the light or get to the shadows.
Yeah.
And that is basically what I will say healing is to me.
Mhm.
I love
love
that. Simplified. You said simple, and that was like perfect right there. It's like both of the concept of duality, because that's what we live in. We live in duality. So you
Yes.
got to be able to see the light just as much as you're going to be able to see the dark. You have to live in both perspectives. You can't just avoid one or the other.
I've,
And
I've
most
got
people
another
do.
one.
Yeah, a lot of people do. Are you kidding me?
Yes.
Most, a lot. And it's like it's
98%.
exhausting. Healers are exhausted. Please just pay attention.
Yeah.
Um, at the same time, I think a lot of people talk about tapping into your intuition.
Right.
What does that look like for you, and how do you help your clients tap into their intuition? Because that's a big part of healing, right? If it's all about learning or getting to know who you are at your deepest, truest self, intuition is sort of like that voice, that bridge to that. So curious as to what your approach is there.
Yes. So to me, I mean, we all have intuition and sometimes we listen to it and sometimes we don't. And in the process of my spiritual coaching program, we don't get to learning about the intuition until we clear through the negative thoughts, our ego thoughts. Once we get to learn the ego and understand when ego is speaking versus when our thoughts are speaking, sorry, when ego is speaking versus our intuition.
Mhm.
When we learn the difference between those, then we're able to access our intuition. We have to quiet the clutter that I like to call that's in our head. And all of the clutter, it's like you're trying to listen to the radio, but you just keep getting the static. So to get to your intuition, you have to figure out what you're telling yourself on a daily basis, as people actually have no idea.
Mhm.
So I actually have my clients begin to find their cognitive distortions. I use a little bit of CBT, and then also find their core beliefs
Mhm.
and clear all of that stuff.
Yep.
Then we get to the soul part of ourselves, right? Listening to our higher self,
Mhm.
aligning with our higher self. So I help my clients first to clear the debris, then align with their higher self, because I do a higher self like union sort of session. Activation is what I call it. And then we do meet your spirit guides. And
Mhm.
then we really learn how to utilize tarot and some other like modalities like that, like oracle cards,
Mhm.
to let the intuition become louder.
Right. Yeah. I think that I like the core beliefs aspect of that's really important. We were just talking about that. I was teaching it. I'm actually going to be doing a workshop on that come September, core beliefs and intuition,
Okay.
activating that so that they have a good gauge around which one of their intuitions they lead with so that they have the opportunity to kind of define that better for themselves. And like you said, the clutter, it's about getting that understanding around your trauma and your experiences so that you have the opportunity to really integrate and listen to your intuition, which is it's profound once you do, but it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of practice, and then you get better with it over time, which is fantastic. And there's going to be moments you're going to doubt yourself too with it, which is the interesting part. Those are just lessons that you have to work through.
Yeah, I feel like I'm getting slowly to that point of like discerning when the mental is kicking in versus when the intuition is speaking. But I think you and I talked about this a few times before. I would also have moments where I would approach a person and I would feel something, and then you're like, I would tell you the story and you're like, that wasn't yours. That
100%.
was theirs. I
Yep.
think that's where I'm still struggling a little bit because, like, okay, now I can identify the feeling, but I'm like, whose shit is this?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think too, like when I first started off, because it was like I had my own journey with this too, right? I would get hit with like, I'd walk into a room and I'd feel like jealousy. And I'd be like, am I jealous? It's like, am I walking around with this jealousy? Like, what's going on right now? Why do I feel this way? Like, why am I hyper focused on this one person right now? Like, I don't really operate this way. It was because, like, literally, that was the intent that was coming in energetically. And, like, we're all operating in that way without registering it. But highly intuitive people or people who want to lean in with their intuition, you're going to pick up like a receptor, like that radio frequency. You're going to get all the hits. And then if you're really good, you're going to hear it telepathically. Do you find that you sometimes hear telepathic messages besides clear audience, like someone else across the room saying something and you energetically picking it up on that?
Uh, that's so funny. I'd never called it that before, but absolutely. I always like, it's like someone saying something and then I'm able to kind of hear what they're saying, but
Yes,
it's like
telepathy.
at me.
Yeah.
I know it's weird. I'm like, I know what telepathy
Yeah,
is,
yeah,
but
yeah.
I never connected that
There you
that's what
go.
that is.
That's
That's
that's what that is.
strange.
Yeah, no, it's the truth. It's part of that. I actually can see that with you. So I'm just saying, like, that's where that's kind of coming in, right? Like you could be across from something. I'll literally, and like, I don't know if you do any astral projection or anything like that. So right. So I have been in situations where I'm sitting in my kitchen and I'm like, my anger, I have an anger problem. We're working on it. It's better now. Anyways, but there was someone who had wronged me. And I was like, oh, I don't want to send them bad vibes in any which way, because then, of course, that obviously amplifies a lot in my life too. But karma, I'm like, maybe they learn the lesson that they need through somebody else. Like I'm always like, have someone show up and give them the opportunity to integrate this trauma and this healing within their life and their experience so they don't harm any more people in the process of it. I'm always like setting that type of intention, whereas old me would just send a bad vibe, right? Right? Okay. So, when you're astral projecting or you're out of your body, it's like you're in the room with everybody else that's going on. So psychically, like you can actually pick up on everything that they're
Like you can go to their house.
Yeah, girl. That's what that is. There you can do a lot of those visits, right? And I didn't know I was doing it spontaneously, which was freaking me out. Like, I was like, what is happening? Why am I sitting in this person's kitchen right now, listening to this conversation about what's happening? But it was information that was very important for me to know, especially when you're setting certain intentions. So, have you ever had anything like that, like where you're astral projecting or moving forward or doing any of those experiences?
You know what? Like when I first started my spiritual awakening, so that's like remote viewing that you're just talking about, right?
Yes,
So like
remote
being able
viewing.
to,
Yes, exactly. 100%.
yeah,
Sorry, that's the right term. Yes.
yes, I was doing that a lot,
Hmm.
and I was doing it too much. Whereas I
Right.
was like astral projecting, I was completely outside of my
Yeah.
body all the time.
Yep.
And why I have my spiritual coaching program structured the way that it is, which is we're dealing with the human self first, the
Hmm.
day-to-day, the rituals, like all of that stuff, is because I went a little too hard. My crown chakra was overactive, my third eye was
Okay.
overactive, and so I kind of pulled back from doing a lot of that stuff. I don't really do it anymore. However, I do feel that I'm ready to jump back into that. So
I think you are. I think we're on the same page with this. And I think the remote viewing too is just more just around the collective experience right now, like tapping into like the important aspects that we need to learn more as healers so that we're prepared for our clients. So we're prepared for whatever healing needs to happen. So I'm noticing that. And like I said, when karma and whatever intentions you have to be on, you have to be ready for that stuff.
I have a question for you. Wait, I know this isn't time yet for questions, but have you ever done remote viewing in other constellations?
Yes.
Okay, because that's what I was doing a lot of. And
Yes,
in
yes.
order to
So,
be
What does that mean,
so,
guys? Come on,
so
like.
I would say, yeah, it's remote viewing, but also it's, well, I'm a descendant of like Pleiadians and
okay,
Arcturians. So right. So I'm very much connected to the Galactic Federation. So
me too.
I will often go. And one of the jokes is like when I am remote viewing, where I am there visiting or doing whatever, like they'll throw me stacks of files of like things I'm supposed to be like helping or doing. So yeah. So definitely have done that for sure.
I
But
seeing
that's
where
a
you're
good
at.
question. And like, I'm glad we're on the same page because there's somebody else like, Vivian is like, what is happening? Actually, in all fairness, we had two other girls recently,
Yeah.
beautiful, beautiful souls. They came on and they're really all about the Galactic Federation and all of these beautiful alien extraterrestrial beings. So we had a really intense conversation.
I
Um,
was like, cool. There was like 25 minutes of like back and forth, like, in this. And I'm like,
Well, it's kind of hard because it's like, again, the conversation has been for me, like, I don't have anyone around me that understands this.
Yes, I
Mhm.
have so many Arcturian stories, and
Oh, love it. We're going to have to chat about that.
one on one.
yeah,
Yes, yes, yes. Absolutely. We'll keep that
I'm
offline.
yeah,
But I wanna ask you about past life regression.
I knew it. When you said the one modality, I was like past lives.
Yeah, I'm curious, like, do you do this for all of your clients or just like select clients? And do you feel that it is important for people to know about their past lives and how much does it even affect your life today? Like, is that
That's
something that everyone needs to know?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that question because I feel very passionate about this. So, do I do past life regression for all of my clients? No, absolutely not. I do it for my coaching clients. So I don't know if you guys got a chance to look at my coaching program, but basically it is all of my modalities in the sessions so that my clients can try every single modality and know what they want to continue doing going forward. So that's
Hmm.
why I learned everything because it's more like a teaching program.
Right.
And so the people who do my past life regressions are the people who are kind of in that program who have me to kind of work through whatever comes up because what comes up in a past life regression can be a lot. It can
Hmm.
be a lot. I did offer single session past life regressions in the past, and I have been concerned about the people who have, done those regressions with me and did not book a follow-up session with me.
Right.
I'm not going to
I
have that.
agree. I agree. It's you're unlocking a lot. I mean, so past life regressions are great. I like to do a lot of the inner child current state vibrations that are going on right now so that we're really focused on what's happening in this moment. But if anyone does a past life regression, there should be follow up because you're activating so much. Do you find that with past life regression, you're accessing a lot of the Akashic records? Have,
Oh,
yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, like you're unlocking the subconscious and you're also allowing the clients to access a piece of the Akashic records. So
Right.
even after
Do you find
their
that that's a
regression,
problem? That's a
um,
problem. Not a
I
problem if somebody isn't doing the work and showing up, but I think like if we're giving them a piece of that, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that.
I don't think it's a problem, and here's why. I think that we are the Akashic records, imagine it's just like this like library room with files.
Hmm.
We are giving them access to one file. So we
Right,
talked about
right.
like maybe 10 things within that file, but the rest of the file is open for them to peek into, but they can't jump anywhere else. That's
Good,
why I
good,
don't
good.
think
So it's
that
bound. So there's bounds, right? Because like,
there's completely
yeah,
bound.
yeah, because like I know one of my guides when I was working with them when I first started off and like, it was like, oh, the Akashic records this and this person that and whatever. And they were like, nope, they cannot access all of this. They don't,
Yeah.
this is just number one, it's just too much context for them. Number
Yes.
two, if they need to, they, well, your guides, whatever the team showing up, they'll say, give them this, but most people shouldn't be accessing it unless you've done a lot of healing work through that process as well. Yeah,
Right.
it's
And
very interesting.
to give an example so that people can have context, because I know Akashic Record sounds like such a
Yeah,
big
yeah.
like, idea or concept. Let's say I do a past life regression with someone and they see that their brother was their dad in that past life.
Hmm.
After the past life regression, days go by, they might be like, oh wow, my sister was actually in that past life too, but she was a neighborhood friend. I don't know why that just came to me. It's stuff like that. It's
Right, right, right,
nothing
right,
like
right.
more than that.
Yeah, we laugh because when I first met Ivana, the joke is that we were
He
in,
doesn't remember
but
this,
we
by
had
the
a
way.
past life together where
For sure.
she was on my deathbed, and she was there helping me back in Egypt times or whatever, Arcturian activations. And so we have had many, many lives in these experiences. And it's like the first thing that was unlocked the moment she walked into the front door. And that was like, and you and I are going to work together. And that was like 10 or 12 years ago. And she was like, this girl crazy. Right. It
I
was
can't
like, it was really cool, because I had never done that with a client
He
walking.
doesn't remember saying that to
Oh,
me.
I'm
I had
sorry.
to,
I love
there's
you,
a
but I love
reminder.
you.
oh, I can't wait to like learn more about you guys' dynamic on my podcast. But
It's
I have so
crazy.
many questions.
Oh,
But
yes.
I do really want to go back to the question of should everyone have a past life
Mm.
regression?
Hmm.
Because I think that's
Hmm.
really important. And does do our past lives affect us in this lifetime? Absolutely.
Hmm.
Sometimes a client can come to me and say, I have this crazy fear of being abandoned, but I was never abandoned in this lifetime.
Okay.
It's a past
Mm.
life. It's from a past life.
Okay.
So a lot of the times we have feelings and beliefs, core beliefs, even like things that have carried over from past lives and we have no idea that we're carrying them. I think everyone should do past life regressions, honestly, on a yearly basis to clear out any timelines that may be affecting them in this lifetime. Let me give you an example. So when I first started working with my very first mentor, who actually introduced me to the Arcturians, or at least introduced me to the idea of the Arcturians, we did a past life regression, and she told me that there was one lifetime in Spain, which is crazy because I want to move to Spain so bad. But but I've always felt connected to it. But I had a past life in Spain where my husband was a toreador, and he basically abused animals. And I killed my husband. I killed my
Wow.
husband because he abused me and he abused animals. And I had this affinity towards animals. And the actual like city in Spain stoned me to death, like completely stoned to death. I did not feel that I could speak up or use my voice in that past life.
Okay.
There was a pain that I was carrying on like the side of my body for a really long time.
Mm-hmm.
That pain was literally from that past life. When we removed it, then I got relief from that pain. I also was able to kind of clear my throat chakra even more and like open up, my voice. So there are a lot of past lives that we have that we just have zero clue are affecting us on a day to day. So I like to clear, like what you said, clear the inner child first, clear what's happening on this lifetime first, on this plane first. Then we go back because there's more to be done.
You know what's funny? I never told you this. Did you know that I'm Joan of Arc from a past life? Yeah.
I believe it.
Yeah.
I love
You
how
never said that to
casually
me.
Yeah.
you said
Well, I know
Really?
I've gone through my charts and stuff like that. In one of my past lives, I was Joan of Arc. Yeah.
Who? I don't even know her.
We should do a podcast episode on just Joan of Arc. We will, just so we can get more context. But yeah, I mean, and it made sense to me when I tapped into that at that point in time. And I do find that like the people that are accessing their past lives are accessing them too because they have a purpose and a mission to do something here in this life path as well. And so they may need the activation of certain parts from that past experience to help initiate the overall mission, which is interesting in a
I
lot of
like that.
ways. Yeah.
Yeah. I,
Yeah.
I like that because I feel like I mostly focus on like the shadow worky side
Yeah.
of past lives. So I
Yep.
kind of like that idea of also looking at some of the positive aspects of that lifetime to kind of activate some of our gifts. Yeah, I
So,
like that.
so would you say that I'm curious? I'm a bit scared to even ask this now. So, say if you're doing the work in this lifetime, you're going through inner child healing and uncovering and going through your shadow emotions and whatnot. Could something from your past life still be impacting you that you wouldn't be able to get to through healing in this lifetime? This is a question for both, actually.
Can you repeat that? Because that's
Okay.
Yeah, I was like, sorry,
multifaceted.
can
That
you-
that was
yeah.
a
Okay.
multifaceted
Okay, okay.
question, and I was like, "There's so many fucked up layers to that."
Yeah.
Right now.
Okay.
I also was like,
Is
I
it-
need a
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Last question. Let's get into it. So, if someone is healing
Yeah.
in their current lifetime,
Yeah.
inner child healing, shadow emotions, all that stuff.
Yep.
If they have never done past life regression and they don't know, could there be something from one of their past lives?
Organically integrate. It will. So there will be a level of depending on wherever they're reaching or whatever their mission and purpose is. This is just like what I'm looking at. It will unlock organically.
So, like, you don't have to do it.
It depends, right? It depends on the person. I think it really does depend on the person. There is an aspect of depending on how open you are to the experience of it as well. Do you need it? Like, if you're going to be drawn to go do a past life regression, there's going to be a reason why you're drawn to do it. Like, you're going to be drawn to do it for an activation of something that needs to integrate within this time frame reality. But there's it's multifaceted because we're looking at multiple timelines and then we're looking at multiple dimensional perspectives. So it's not just one facet of looking at that.
Could there be a thread between lives?
No. This is complexity, okay? Because this is what's complex about this. It's like, that doesn't mean our soul essence doesn't have a thread. Absolutely it does, right? Our soul throughout the years of experiences, but there are also new integrated new souls now that don't have any of these experiences. It's very multifaceted. It's
Separate episode.
It's literally like you and I need to have a completely separate episode on just this.
Yeah.
What's your perspective on it?
Yeah, it's I was tapping into it while you were talking, and I do actually think that there would be some stuck energy if you're not intentionally going into your past lives, going into the Akashic records, regardless of any healing that you have done. I do think that the energy is just it's like trapped, it's stuck. I think that the impact that it has on your life begins to lessen, but there's still some like cellular, like energetic things that might be tripping you up every now and then. And you're like, where is this coming from? You might not even notice it. It might just be
Mhm.
like a blind spot.
Right.
I kind of think that everyone should look into their past lives. And if you don't, then yeah, it's still there.
Mhm.
That's my belief.
Yeah. All
Okay.
right. This was a beautiful conversation. Thank you so much for coming on our podcast. Thank you for sharing all your wisdom and insight. It was lovely. I loved connecting with you on so many different levels. We're definitely going to talk more.
Likewise, part two coming up.
Absolutely. So much to talk about. Thank you so much for coming on the Soul Thrive podcast. I appreciate it.
I'm super happy to have been here. It definitely unlocked a lot of stuff for us to talk about in the future, and I'm very excited about that.
Absolutely.
Likewise. Thank you.